Hello everyone, I'm from My Speed Hub. Today we're going to learn about Scrum methodology. So what is Scrum methodology? It is an agile project management framework that emphasizes on teamwork, accountability, and iterative progress toward a well-defined goal. Scrum is a framework. It is usually used to address a complex problem. Now, if you have a very big project, what we will do is usually we will split those complex project into incremental products into few phases, and then those incremental products will be delivered accordingly to the clients within the work periods that has been set. Um, Scrum is to creatively deliver products of the highest possible value. Scrum processes are iterative and handled within a specific work period, as I mentioned just now, and it has a starting point list of requirements that make up the project plan. It is also a flexible methodology that has 4 values and 12 principles. Basically, Scrum is an agile project management framework emphasizing on teamwork, accountability, iterative progress toward a well-defined goal. In Scrum, there are three main roles, which is called as Scrum Master. They act as a team coach, ensuring the team members to focus during the sprint. So, Scrum Master ensures the team has everything they need to deliver the value. They will have to arrange or set up a meeting, communicate on the project progress, reports if there are any impediments. Basically, they become a facilitator, or they're also called as a servant leader. And as a Scrum Master, they keep the team up to date, provide coaching or mentoring. While the product owner, they create compelling vision of the product and responsible for the product backlog. Product owner represents stakeholder or customers, and they also translate the vision of the project to the team. Basically, product owner is the person who create the vision and communicate that clearly to the team members so that the team members know what to deliver and when to deliver and what exactly the clients are looking for. And a product owner, they will validate the benefits of each user stories, and they will prioritize the backlog on regular basis, because in the product backlog there are many requirements or user stories that need to deliver, but it is important that the backlog need to be prioritized in order to know which one to deliver first. So basically, product owner is responsible on that task. While the Scrum team works together to complete a set of work they have collectively committed to complete within a sprint. So Scrum team is, they are professional, they are very much expert in all area technical knowledge, and they are the team members who carry out the user stories as the start of each sprint and ensuring it is completed within the work periods that have been set. This is how the Scrum framework looks like. Basically, it contains the product backlog. What is product backlog? It is all about the list of requirements that you need to deliver for the particular project. So product backlog, you can write it in detail, which is epic. Epic meaning to say it is a feature, bigger project or initiative. From the epic, you drill down to create user stories. What is user stories? A user story is a collection of requirements that are detailed enough for the engineers to implement. Yeah. For example, if you want to create a web portal for food order, you could come up with the epics. For example, here, technical readiness, social media engagement. So these are the two bigger parts that you want to focus on to come up with the user stories. So another example is the user story. You need to put yourself in the shoe of users and write down the requirement. So in this case, as a user, I want to log into food order portal so that I can order my food. So this is clear enough to the development team. so that the requirement is met. Apart from the product backlog, we have sprint backlog. What is sprint backlog? So the product backlogs will be prioritized accordingly, meaning to say which are the important parts that you want to deliver. So you prioritize accordingly. Basically, the product owner will be doing this task, and the moment the prioritization happen, so each backlogs will be implemented according to the prioritization. So this is called sprint backlog. So the backlogs will be split into sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, and etc. So each sprint will last from 1 week to 4 weeks, depending on uh, the project. Now, sprint, there are a lot of processes. For example, the planning of the sprint, designing, and then you go for the testing, and the testing, go through all the proper test results, and you can release it to the production. And finally, you will have the final product for that particular sprint. So it depending on how big your project is, if the product backlogs are split into uh, more than one sprint, for example, you have 3 sprints altogether, so you need to ensure that each sprints are following this particular process, which is planning, design, testing, and release. So the moment you have a final product for the particular sprint, and then you can actually go for the next sprint. Scrum artifacts includes product backlog, sprint backlog, and product increment. What is product backlog? Product backlog usually prepared by the product owner, and it is a collection of everything the product needs to satisfy the customer. So basically, product owner will ensure the vision is clear and the product backlog are prioritized accordingly. So each product backlogs and then will be drilled down and split it into sprint backlog based on the prioritization. So sprint backlog is actually a subset of the product backlog. So depending on how big your project is, you may encounter many sprints from 1 to 3 sprints depending on how big is your project is, and each sprint will last from 1 to 4 weeks. Product increment is all about sum of all tasks, use cases, user stories, product backlog developed during the sprint. Scrum ceremonies are the events that happened, for example, the backlog grooming. Backlog grooming is all about refining the backlog to ensure it contains the appropriate items, and they are prioritized, and also to make the items at the top of the backlog ready for delivery. Sprint planning is a time box working sessions that will last for 1 hour every week of a sprint. So in this sprint planning, usually the team agrees to complete a set of product backlog items. While the daily scrum happens on weekdays, every day for 15 minutes to ensure the team reduce the complexity, and as well as to inspect progress towards the sprint goal and adjust upcoming plan work, as well as to discuss the impediments. Sprint review take place at the end of the sprint to gather actionable feedback on what the team has completed. It is actually produce a coded, tested, and usable piece of project deliverables. Scrum team shows what they have accomplished during the sprint review meeting. While this sprint retrospective usually done as the last step of a sprint, the entire team should participate at least for an hour to gather data and insights from the team, discuss and make improvement plans. This is how the Scrumbot looks like. Scrumbot usually can be found in a Jira software. It has user stories, User stories are the list of requirements to be completed for this particular project. And to-do list, what are the user stories that will be meant for that particular sprint. You will park it under to-do list, and then you will take note on the progress by marking all the tasks into the in progress category. And if you have any approval, validation or verification to be done, and you can just mark that particular task into that to verify category. And finally, done is to show that the number of activities that have been completed. So the moment activities have been completed, you can just move it under the done category. Thank you everyone for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel, My Speed Hub. Bye.